Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It's Tuesday morning, and it is March 3rd. The time is 3:05 in the a.m., and I want to talk serious about a couple of things that I heard yesterday. One was from a sister that I follow, and she posed a question about relationships. And then the second thing, which happened earlier in the day, was a youngster posing the question, why do people cheat in relationships? And I think for me, as I thought about both questions, it gave me a cause for pause, and I married the two questions. The first is defining a relationship, and I can do that with one word: commitment. Two people come together and they recognize they have something in common, and they want to build on that commonality. But as I like to say, life be life and hard, and it shows up in the commitment, and the connection has a strain, and just people are just dedicated to their creature comforts, and that strain becomes more than they want to deal with. Not more than they can deal with, but more than they want to. Because of, I want to say, our hedonistic nature. That's how I see it. Now, for the youngster, why do people cheat? Take that first blurb that I said, and then I want you to reflect on, people getting caught up and invested in the romantic aspects and the physical aspects of a relationship. So the romance and sex, you're validating me, and you're sharing the feel good moments, if you will. But as soon as that gets old, I'm looking for that feeling again. It's like an addict. It's like I'm trying to recapture that first high. And I'm not going to get it with this person or this drug. And love is a drug, folks. So, it just leads to an ugly progression or regression, if you will, of things. And like I said, people aren't committed enough to work through that. I look at people who are just scanning the globe for the romance and the physical aspects, and I think, well, damn, what do you do if that individual that you say you love gets sick and can no longer provide you with the bedroom acrobatics? What happens then? And I've lived through that. Where do you find that sense of connection and that spark when that individual gets sick? Or, God forbid, have an accident, which limits their capacity. And for the folks who are invested in the feel-good aspects, the physicality, pay attention, because folks check out mentally long before they check out physically. There's a line from a movie I believe it's The Hustler with Paul Newman, where he's living with this woman, and the woman notes that, their relationship is just dead. So she refers to it as a contract of depravity. Is that you? I don't get this deep and into aspects of life too often. But you folks are giving me cause to reflect on a lot of things that I've gone through in life and learned from. And so, I talk about it. I put it out there for further conversation. There's just this new sister that I started following, and she gives me a lot of information that, after a day of work, I just like, yeah. And then I'll speak on something, that touches on this subject. Now, for the very first part of this, the question about relationship, and I gave the one word response: commitment. I love, loyalty and dedication, and all that is wrapped in the ability to adequately communicate. Now, I'm just exploring neurodivergent aspects of my character, and I think the thing that irritates a lot of people that I come in contact with is I'm going to ask a lot of questions repeatedly until you make it make sense. Yeah, and I extend a lot of grace in my asking of those questions. A lot of grace. Think about a lot of grace and what that means. Especially when I share, my character traits. So when I say I extend a lot of grace, you don't hear what's going on in my head. And you also know that I don't have to have a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of conversation to understand, gaslighting. I've already noticed your patterns. So when I say I extend a lot of grace, I'm seething and smoldering. But I'm willing to have that conversation to allow you the opportunity to discuss the reason for the gaslighting. I want you to think about that.